Welcome to Realms Unknown. This is the Mist, a homebrew D&D campaign. We thank you for joining and hope you enjoy.
So,
Anyways,
last session, the party finally tracked down the elusive Timbertane, the manager or quartermaster of the Hathholt Shipping Company, who had been let go from his job. They found him in the sloop of Emberley, playing a game of dice with other people, drinking heavily. And through some very good rolls and persuasive arguments, you were able to get him to agree to accompany you to the warehouse for some late night shenanigans. Garrett, on the way for him to go to his house to grab his extra key, you noticed that he was being tailed by men who wore green sashes around their waist. And you intimidated them into basically leaving the area. You found out that these were members of the Kakut crime family, and that many people have been pestering Timbertane about some of the wares which have been stuck in the warehouse. You made your way to the warehouse, where you discovered it locked, but you also heard voices and movement inside. One of you, I believe, knocked on the side back door.
no, it was a grappling hook mishap. They came to investigate.
Oh, yeah.
Two grappling hook mishaps.
They went to investigate, basically, a grappling hook, which you had failed to toss properly on.
We don't need to talk about it.
Yeah, a person went and basically peeked out, where you took the opportunity to go and put him to sleep, so that went well, and then gain access to the warehouse, upon where you battled some goons who oddly seemed to be kind of like desiccated, like they were really dry, almost kind of like scrawny as well, but wearing this unique armor. The battle has now ended, and you have taken a short rest. And this is where we now come to the party, who has 3 corpses and a generally unresponsive prisoner who is manacled in the back room. And that is where we will start things off.
Mm-hmm.
I think we wanted to question this fool.
This fool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we
Let's
could.
question the fool.
Yeah, so last time we basically ended combat. We said you guys took a short rest, but you had not gone and rummaged through the pockets of the corpses or gone to question this gentleman.
Yeah, I think I'm not the questioning guy.
Fair enough.
I think
I can
I'm
try
definitely
and questioning.
looking at this man right here and his armor, like moving the cloak off.
Yeah, you would actually notice. You can go and dig through if you like.
You want an investigation check?
Yeah, do me an investigation check.
That's a 22.
22. Garrett, you definitely recognize this armor. This would have been armor that would have been placed on people who were warriors in your clan who had passed away from perhaps old age or an injury which was too severe to be healed, and put into the gentle sleep, and placed into the caves of eternal slumber.
So the fact that he's here is very rage-inducing?
Yeah, it's probably not, good.
That's...
Yeah, it's probably not good for your mental health that you're seeing this.
No.
You knew that you would one day probably have to come to terms and face this, but seeing it face to face is a different story entirely.
Yeah.
Asale,
Hey.
you are going to question just gentleman. You see him there, and he almost appears to be in a trance. When you go and look at like his eyes and kind of just generally look at him, it's not like they're noticing you. It's almost like they're looking past you.
I guess I'll just try talking to him.
Sure, what do you say?
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
The man is unresponsive. Um, he seems to kind of mumble something, which you can make me a perception or maybe investigation check to try to see what you make out.
Yeah, 16.
16. Um, yeah, I guess you could probably make something out with that. Most of it is incomprehensible. Some um, Tizen seems to say a name Tizen and then gibberish.
Tizen. Does anyone know what Tizen? No?
Nope.
I'm pretty well, like, the grip on the halberd is making noise from the amount that I'm, like, twisting it as I fucking hear those words.
Yeah,
I'm staring at this body.
And as you guys are looking at these bodies, by the way, you notice that these are almost like mummified or preserved corpses. They've not like rotted away, but it's like the skin and like the muscles have kind of like atrophied, and the skin is very tight around the bones. Like they begin to kind of mummify. Um, these people should not be moving or alive by any means. Especially the one you're talking to, Asale. He's maybe a little bit more towards like I guess somewhat has some life in him, but still his hands and face is sunken. This kind of desiccated look to him.
Does anyone have anything they want to ask to our friend here?
And then you do make out another thing is you hear him mumble, it burns.
Does anyone have any questions for this guy?
He's gonna tell us.
As I start to like put my hand on my mace.
I think. Oh,
Timbertane's kind of looking
this
at you.
is fucking. I'm trying to think about what he would say here.
Yeah, Timbertane's like looking at Asale, seeing Garrett over there, and he's like, I gotta be honest, guys, this is kind of weirding me out here. I expected to be cracking thugs, not corpses.
I kind of look back from Timbertane over to the little zombie that I'm with, and I kind of raise my mace over my head. Any questions?
I just think I walk over to you, or walk over to, you and that dude, and say, we won't get anything from him. This is not good.
I will turn his head into a bull then.
Okay, you put this poor creature person out of its misery. Whatever force was animating it, it's no longer there.
Oh.
So
I roll this guy over and open the robes. Is this another corpse from the chambers or a different?
Yeah, this one, the other one next to it, looks like another corpse from the chambers. Not dressed in the warrior's garb. It looks like this one was just placed in some random leathers. But you do notice there is a there is a necklace, like kind of like macrame out of leather made, and there's a symbol of like kind of like this curling snake with a little wing off it, which you certainly recognize as a craft that somebody would have made
Mm-hmm.
in your commune.
Mm-hmm. This is not what I was hoping to find here. I think we can talk about this later, but these people were from my home once upon a time. I kind of look at just the desiccation of the body. It's like this, not like this though.
Timbertane kind of like raises an eyebrow, looks at you. So, like like a necromancer when it resurrected them or animated them.
I mean, possibly these individuals were in the. He just kind of like stops talking and just stares at the body. Just doesn't know what to.
You see Timbertane make a small gesture and just say, 3 above. Oh, well, this is certainly more than I thought we'd be dealing with tonight. And he kind of goes and you see him lean down on a chair. I never took Vikel for a necromancer, but I suppose you can never tell, right?
Michael might be a pawn. The man who did this is no ordinary man.
Well, I would assume not, given the state of the bodies. Um, well, we're here. And he goes, actually, he goes over and thinks for a second, and he double checks that the door over here is locked. And he says, we want to look around then? Maybe find out what they've been moving in here?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm gonna
That'd
check
be
these bodies. They got anything useful?
You look them over. You find nothing on them particularly useful. Just patting them down. They don't carry any coin or anything that you can see that makes sense. They really do seem just like manpower. You might find a couple of trinkets on them, which you could maybe look into, but apart from that, there's nothing of interest or nothing useful to you.
Trinkets.
Take some trinkets.
Yeah, I'll take the trinkets.
Sure. You find two. On one of the bodies, there is a leather wristband, and you notice the shape of it. Here, I'll just draw it on the. I'll draw it on here for you real quick. Where's freehand? Brush. There we go. So, real simply, it just kind of looks like this. There's like what seems to be a head, and kind of a curl out, and then kind of a wing like that. Is the symbol you see on it.
He's a
So,
flying snake.
yeah, that's what it looks to be. Flying snake with a circle coming out of the center for its tail coming out, head, and then a single wing. And you find that on the one wristband, and then the other you find an earring on the person, which is made in the same motif.
I'll just take the earring.
You just take the earring? Okay. All right. You take an earring with you. Anything else you guys want to check around?
I might as well check out the rest of the.
I want to see if I can find the stolen supplies from the town just outside, the lye and stuff?
Oh, the lye and the chemicals? Yeah, go
Mhm.
ahead and make me an investigation check.
Oh, it's a 10.
It's not very hard to notice. There is the smell of chemicals. There are a couple of crates. It looks like in this area, in this building, there's like some splashes on the ground. It looks like and some empty vats over in this corner. It looks like the chemicals were moved into smaller containers and jars or amphoras and moved somewhere.
There's an upstairs to this place, right?
No, it's about 2 stories tall. There is an office in the back where you guys were, which you
Okay.
could also check.
That's over here.
In behind, yeah, where you had the guy tied up.
Uh,
You're gonna check the office?
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make me investigation.
Both of us or just him?
You can as well if you can help him and roll with advantage then.
Sure.
I got +3 in proficient.
I have +0, so go ahead.
18.
18. You notice some of the papers here have been looked through. They're general logs of things that have come in. A lot of entry logs for goods. They all end on the same date though, which was about 2 months back, which matches up with when the place would have been taken over. You also find, as you're looking through, a letter, which looks like it was tossed to the side on the desk. And I will go and paste its contents into the shared notes for you.
Dearest imbecile.
Yeah, it doesn't go it's not the most friendly note.
Yeah, he doesn't like this guy.
No.
I'm gonna need a dictionary for parsimonious.
Go ahead and roll intelligence check.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
17.
Yep, you've heard this word in your readings. It's not one that somebody would casually use.
No.
It means stingy or very reluctant to use resources. It's clear that somebody well educated wrote this letter.
Alright. Cool.
Somebody who also thinks probably pretty highly of their own intelligence, if you get.
Yeah. The deed to the warehouse isn't in here anywhere, is it?
No, you didn't see anything regarding that. You do see some things which talk about like the place being owned by Dadian, like some of his stuff here, but there's no deed to the warehouse per se that you're able to find in the office.
Okay.
Do you pass that note around, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or read it out loud?
Yeah. Whatever.
Sure. Perhaps.
I think I call over a Timbertane tape.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know the the captain who's said to have been able to travel to Darken?
There's only maybe one person that could have been. Captain Adelhelm.
Okay, I think he's in fucking danger.
Oh. Oh, okay. Well, what can we do about it then?
I don't know, but I think we need to go possibly make sure that nobody's kind of fucked with him,
Is there
or
a
if he's
date?
been approached by somebody.
Is there a date on this letter?
No, there is no date on this letter.
Okay.
Yeah. Timotane takes a look at the letter. Dearest imbecile, do not think your actions have gone unnoticed by me. Remind that your benefactor's gold, parsimonious. What? I don't know what that means. Surely you would not shirk your responsibilities in your own pursuits. I know that you have more resources, and do not think I am unaware of your other holdings. You could have paid what the captain asked, and yet you chose not to, and so have lost another vessel. Yeah, that sounds like Vikel. There was a vessel that he shipped. Oh, I think he tried to sail to Darkon, is the rumor, but it was never seen again. Passage to Darkon. Uh, the captain will not comply with your request. Coercion of coin. Um, I think it has to be Adelhelm. He's the only person I know who. He's an odd man. He's able to sail to any destination, is the rumor. Um, Generally keeps to himself, but does go and make port here. Whoever this person is doesn't sound very pleased. Um, I don't know where we'd even find Adelhelm at this hour. I'd assume he has a ship in the harbor, but it's possible maybe he's still on board.
Well, I don't know if any one of these guys could have been the imbecile. They didn't really seem like the talkative types.
Well, they all seem dead. I don't know. Do the dead speak? Cleric, this is my first time dealing with necromancers. How does this work?
The dead can speak. These ones did not have the ability to.
All right. So,
These seem to be raised in a trance, rather than like a sentient being that was raised.
If we wait, do you think the I don't know.
if we wait, then who knows who will discover this and come around. I mentioned, you mentioned wondering if there was a way to get underneath here. I'll show you if you like.
Is there a way we could toss these bodies and maybe that, and then let those green sash gentlemen know they could come to the warehouse and get what they need so they can be off your back?
Sure, we could do that. Come on. And he leads you into the, you see, in the warehouse, they've, why isn't it letting me click on it?
I'm refreshing myself as well.
Okay, there we go. See in
My
the
steak's
corner-
ready. I'll be back.
Yeah, where the carpets are rolled up, it's under that. So you find that there's a grate there, which has a small steps leading down into a sort of small cellar, and from there is a grate which looks to have been pried open to allow passage into the tunnels beyond.
Looks like they're already using this.
Yeah. I mean, normally, this is just where you go and you put the refuse. This, I think, links up to the rest of the city, where the refuse and other, stuff drains down through the sewers. Doesn't smell so bad because we're close to the ocean, so a lot of water with the tides comes in and out. Well, yeah, it looks like they pried it open. And you can tell from the pry marks, actually, that it was pried open from this side to get in, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Do you just want to put the bodies down here?
I think so.
Right. Let's get
No.
to
I'll help him throw all the bodies down there.
Okay, you dispose of some corpses down in a little cellar here.
I might. Can I unlock the front door?
There is a bar on the front door that you can unlatch. Yep.
Yeah, I'll unlatch the front door.
Okay. You unlatch the front door and open it, revealing the cool air of the evening and the smell of the salt sea.
Timbertane, do you want to look for some green-sashed gentlemen with me so they can retrieve what they need?
Yeah, sure. We can do so.
Valkyrie, do you want to stay here with Garrett, maybe look around a little, or do you want to come with us?
I don't think there's much more for us to find here.
Right? We'll be back, I guess. Shouldn't take too long. I'm sure they're skulking around somewhere. Probably tried to follow us here.
Probably. And I guess we'll kind of go for a walk and look for the gang.
All right. Valkyrie, is there anything in particular you're looking for when you wait as you're staying here with Garrett?
I know. I don't.
Probably some good stuff in boxes.
I don't think there's anything that's really for us. There's probably good stuff here, but I don't think there's anything that's for us. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
But before they leave,
Uh,
I'll
okay.
cut off a lock of hair, tie a little piece of string to it, and give it to Isolde.
Fair enough. So that you can contact her if need be.
I'm just gonna watch it.
Creepy. All right.
Eyes off the goods. I told you everything I have belongs to my god.
Yeah. You and Timbertane take a small walk. I'm just going to quickly grab stuff from my oven since the other gentleman is grabbing a steak.
It's just so that I can see what's going on because, like, if something happens, you can't notify me, but
Yeah.
I can remote view the location of the lock. So
Oh,
I can keep an eye on you, and then if something happens, then I can contact you and you can respond.
okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Are you kind of watching me as I walk with Timbertame?
Yeah, totally.
You'll kind of see Asale walking, and she's paying less attention to the alleys and the streets and more attention to the moon up in the sky. And kind of maybe saying, like, little praises to her god.
Little praises to your god just as you're going.
Yeah, it's nighttime, so, I'm probably not paying that much
Just
attention
walk
to
around at
alleys.
nighttime.
No, not even that. Just like, little sayings I have or something.
As you walk out, it takes you only a minute before around the corner, a couple of gentlemen wearing green sashes come out. And
Hey, we're looking for you guys.
they kind of look at each other and look at you kind of with a quizzical expression. What do you need from us?
I heard you wanted something that was locked up in the warehouse.
And
Right, Big T?
they look at you, and then they look at Timbertane, and they say, "Yeah, you ready to give it to us?"
Well, we just opened it up. What do you mean, give it to you? We don't have it.
Look at Timbertane, and Timbertane kind of like shrugs his shoulders, nods his head. And the guy goes, Just a second. I'll check in with the boss. Other guy goes running off. A second later, he goes, show me.
Okay, you know where the warehouse is, right? Let's go. You said it was like a minute. I assume they were like right around the fence.
Well, they're not very far.
Yeah, show me. Fucking walk right there.
The two of them are just kind of surprised that you're like, here's your shit.
We're not holding your shit from you, dude. We just took the warehouse back from the shitty people who took it.
Fuck me. All right. He goes, and you see him take out a small setting stone, and he goes, tell the boys we'll need a wagon, and we'll need a few men to load up the crates. This girly elf here has opened up the doors for us. And he looks at you and he goes, this was a smart thing. Your friend Timbertane, really annoying, not letting us in. Smart of you to go and help us out like this.
I will say, friend, we didn't get in thanks to Timbertame. He didn't get us into the building. We just had an agreement that we didn't like the current management.
And that's all that's in for you? You just don't like the current man in charge?
More or less.
Good enough for me. Strange, though. Surely we after something.
We have our motives, but it's nothing untoward.
Well, if it doesn't involve me, I won't ask any more questions. Boss will be happy.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Pretty simple solving the equation there.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of get the blame off Timbertame, like, yo, it's actually not his fault. Don't think it's his fault. Don't give him a hard time.
I'm assuming you guys are just gonna wait around. Since we don't have Garrett, we might as well just say you guys are just kind of waiting.
Yeah, I'll wait. I might stand outside and, like, sit on some kind of, like, I'm sure there's, like, a half-stone wall around the place, kind of marking its property line. I might just sit on that and, like, stare up at the moon or just breathe in the night air.
Yeah. You wait around for a while, probably like 20 minutes or so, and eventually you see about 8 men coming down with a cart, which has a couple of donkeys at the front, and it looks like there's about 8 men with them ready to unload the goods.
I'm gonna go to Timbertane and ask him if do you know which crates are theirs?
I'd have to go check the inventory of it. Frankly, none of the crates saw the ownership of the Kakot family. I'm assuming they're doing this work for someone, but honestly, it's none of my business anymore. Not my warehouse. And if this gets them off my back, well, I didn't see nothing.
Well, it's not your warehouse yet.
You see them come up, and they look in. Gotta look around. Valkyrie, I assume you're just kind of standing in there waiting.
Mm-hmm.
You see the main gentleman. One who looks like the leader. Half of his head shaved. He's got a tattoo. Looks in. You see him look down at a sheet of paper and start looking through the warehouse at crates.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, he finds what he's looking for, and he calls the other gentleman in. And they start taking a whole bunch of crates, which have all been stamped with the same insignia.
Okay. I'm just making sure he's not gonna take anything that's not stamped with that insignia.
Go ahead and make me perception check.
15.
16. As his men are working, you notice he's looking through the rest of the crates in the warehouse. He's definitely seeing if there's anything else of value here.
No, don't be taking anything that isn't yours.
And he kind of scoffs at you as you say that. He says, "What's it to you?"
We don't need any more people like yourself coming after us or Timbertane because their goods have gone missing.
Trust me, nobody's gonna come after us. Or you. Just let us do our work here. Besides, most of this is already written off anyway. Who cares if a shipment goes missing?
Maybe I do.
And he kind of, at that, postures, looks at you and goes, "And who might you be?"
I just put my hand on my sword hilt.
Ooh.
Just a child of the Shade Mother.
I gotta see if he knows who that is. Probably does. He, at that, kind of backs up a second and goes, "You're bluffing."
Look at me. You really think so?
And he looks you over and he goes, "How do I not know you're not just some tiefling with a skin condition?" He seems amused by you more than anything at this moment.
Do I have any of those coins?
What's that?
Do I have any of those coins?
No, you do not. Only your brother gives out those.
Okay.
And he starts egging you on. He goes, "If you're one of her children, go ahead. Hex me if you can. I don't believe you."
Okay.
He's asking for it.
Yeah, I'll fucking all hex curse him.
Oh fuck, right, you can hex curse.
Yeah, I'll hex him. Little blue swirly magic flows from my fingertips and swirls around him.
Does he roll a save?
No, there's no save for it, hex. I don't think.
No, and then there's a question of what does your hex feel like to somebody that you've cast it on?
I think it swirls around him a little bit and then accumulates on his chest, and there's like a almost feels like frostbite.
Okay, frostbite. So he feels
Cold.
like a cold shiver.
Mm-hmm. Like a cold burning sensation.
And what does your hex do? Does it just give bonuses in combat?
Yeah.
I'm gonna see. How much bravado does he have? He's pretty cocky. Okay. He feels it. And he kind of looks at you, still kind of goes, and he goes, all right. And he kind of makes like a motion, like the evil eye warding it off, and says, all right, I'll believe you. What's your name?
Valky. What's your name, friend?
Name's Tillman.
What's your boss's name?
Everybody knows that. It's the Kakot family.
Cock.
Kakot. What is the child of the Shade Mother doing in little old Fastro anyway? Looking for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
None of my ilk or my associates, I hope.
No, I believe it's the new owner of this establishment.
Mm. And you see him kind of nod at that, nod back. And there wouldn't be any running afoul of your mother. No disrespect, of course. Just have to make sure I know who I'm dealing with.
Not right now.
All right. And you'll be leaving soon, I assume?
As soon as we find this gentleman.
Fair enough. You see him walk away, and he talks to a couple of his associates who are loading off the goods.
Can I hear what he's saying?
Roll me perception.
17, baby.
Yeah,
Damn.
you can. You overhear him say to a couple of the people who are grabbing containers, and you hear him say, "No sticky fingers, lads. One over there, cursed, and says she's a child of the Shade Mother." You see two of them look over and then spit on the ground. He goes, "We're making enough. No chance. No chance." And they nod, and you hear him say, "Tell the rest."
Nice.
And as they finish packing up, you see a couple of them come back with a crate and put it on the ground, and he goes, "Oh, we took this one by accident, filled with some wine and other materials.
Mm.
Honest mistake. Hope you understand."
Thanks for being honest, gentlemen.
Absolutely. Well, Valkyrie, Tibertane, and friends, it was a pleasure doing business with you, and the Cacot family thanks you. Though we are not in your debt, and you not in ours, we would be delighted in the future to have dealings with you again. And he tips his hat and walks off with the goods.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of walk over to Valkyrie. Hey, you mind if I take one of the wines?
We've got a bale of ale.
Tell you what, we can split the wine. They found all the good stuff for us.
Yeah.
That they did.
That's Timbertane.
Tibertane walks past over here and he says, "Listen, as far as I'm concerned, I wasn't here tonight. I didn't see anything.
All right.
I was just
think
here to
I'll-
crack skulls. So, with that, I gotta ask, are we done for the night? I am kind of worried about Captain Adelhelm, and I'm not too keen on really going tromping around in the wet sewers, to be honest with you."
No.
No. I think I'm good on that note too. If you can find any the location of Abelheim or Helm, or if you could just get word to him that he needs to be cautious.
Well, come on, let's go up the dock. I'm sure his ship might be still moored here. We can probably find it. It's easy enough to spot it. It's the most gaudish thing you've ever seen. Don't worry, you'll know. And he goes with that.
Don't. Do I know what a fucking ship is?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
I'm like a man of the mountains, born, raised, and fucking that's it.
Yeah, you would see these massive. You've probably seen like a rowboat. You would see these massive vessels, some of them bigger than others, which have these huge sails. And for you, like it's just like seeing a town. Like this is on a whole different
Yeah,
scale.
I thought the city was impressive to begin with, but like I'm seeing these things poke up over buildings. I think they're a part of the buildings, but no, they're just like fucking boats on the water. And like when we've come around that corner and the dock opens up, he just dead stops. And he's just like jaw dropped. What are those?
Those are called boats.
Floating house?
No, that is a boat. And these
Castle?
are rather small.
Small. They get bigger.
Of course.
Oh yeah, these are big, but there's some in the Empire which are, I'd say almost twice as big, from what I've heard. Come on, we're looking for one with a god-awful golden mermaid on the front and very tacky decor. Looking for a bright white sails with a golden emblem on the front.
Okay.
Just look for the one that looks like the fanciest piece of shite you ever seen. It's probably Adelhelm's. And they're kind of walking down, and in the distance, you're even in the night, you're able to see a vessel which stands out from the others. Um, it's a larger vessel, very sleek and long, and it seems to have this large mermaid jutting out from the front, which seems to have a globe on either side, and it looks like immaculate, in pristine condition. Um, Stands out from the rest for sure, and you can see it coming. And Timbertane kind of nods. He goes, "I think that's the one there."
Well, style is definitely subjective.
Uh, it is, but this Captain Adelhelm, um, thing is, we may want to be a little bit careful talking to him. He's apparently, well, rumor is he's sailed from hell and back. He's friends with the Baron Severin, and Severin's known in these parts as the Hellbroker. I think it's all bluster, but still, the man's a strange one, and he is able to sail through any storm. There's been times where other ships have been wrecked, and we thought we'd see no one coming into port only for him to come in, his ship seemingly unscathed. I don't know, but if he's here, you can certainly ask him. Um, you end up walking up to the ship, and you do see that there is a gangplank lowered, and there is a guard on duty. Actually, a couple of guards on duty. One person standing at the bottom of the gangplank, and another at the top near a couple of torches.
Okay.
The other thing you notice about the ship as well is at the top on the deck, you're able to spot from right here, there is light coming, but it doesn't look like it's light from a torch. Or not a torch that you've ever seen, but it is light emitting from some sort of casing.
Do we have? We took the note with us, right?
You can say that you did, for sure.
Yeah.
I think I walk up to the guard at the bottom of the stairs.
It's a stern-looking dragonborn who you see there, and he seems to be he's wearing almost looks like a kind of tribal garb.
Interesting.
Yes.
Probably takes me aback a bit as I walk up to this man. And, excuse me, sir.
No
Wondering,
admittance.
What?
I can understand that. Is your captain on board?
And he at that you see him look for a moment, narrow his eyes, and he goes, "No admittance."
Okay, well, you see, we just kind of beat up some thugs, and we took this note off them, so I just wanted to give them a warning, and I just hand him the note.
He looks at it, and you can kind of tell he can't read. And gives it back to you.
So, did you even read it out to you there, bud, or did you get the gist?
I don't think he could read. Which is okay. We don't want admittance. We just want a parlay.
My duty is to guard the ship. No admittance to outsiders.
We don't want admittance.
I look up
friend.
to the dude at the top of the ramp. Can you read there, boss?
There's this tall human gentleman. He goes, I can read.
Do you just want to give this a peruse, and then we'll leave. It's all good.
And he looks at the dragonborn. The dragonborn looks up at him. And he comes down. And this one's you can tell this is kind of an older white-haired gentleman. Seems very prim and proper. You can see he has a chain for a pocket watch coming out of his vest. Very, very well tailored outfit for somebody who's apparently a sailor. He walks down, and the dragonborn, as he comes down and looks at him and looks at the people, he again repeats, "No Yes, yes, I know. Okay.
Does he know more than those words? Or
Are
does
you-
he just speak Draconic?
He speaks Draconic. He is a very valued member of the crew and the captain's personal bodyguard.
He's
What
doing
is-
a wonderful job.
Yes, we are very appreciative of Kygor.
Kygor.
Yes, Kygor. And then as you look, the dragon says, "Kygor, protect." Yes, you do, my friend.
In Draconic, I'm gonna say Kygor is doing a very good job.
Kygor, immediately looks at you, and you hear Draconic. Now he speaks. He goes, "You know the language of the gods."
Of course I know the language of the gods. I am a god-fearing woman. No admittance.
Yeah, Kygor looks at the other person and says, "Kygor likes this one." And he goes, "I'm sure you do. What is it? What is it you have to present to us?"
It seems that Meister Vickel is the man's name in here. His benefactor is putting a little more pressure on him and whoever
And he-
was running the warehouse.
Takes the note and he begins to read it. And as he gets through it, you can tell his tone changes. And his entire mannerism, he stands up a little bit straighter, and he looks you all over with almost an air of suspicion.
That's fair.
Hey man, I'm not with that dude or who his benefactor is. If his benefactor's who I think he is, I kind of want his head on a platter.
And who are you then?
Well, my name's Garrett. We're kind of looking all for the same man. So, Vickel come aboard this ship at all?
And the Dragonborn answers, no. And he says, no, I do not know who this... I do know of this Meister Vickel, as he likes to be called. And you have done me a great service by bringing me this note. I'm sorry to say that your warning is a little late, though.
Hmm.
And he goes, Kygor, guard the ship. Ensure no one board. I will speak with these gentlemen and ladies myself. And Kygor kind of stamps his spear and he goes, no admittance. And he goes, and he begins walking with you. He says, so, you are, I am to presume, what, good Samaritans who want simply to help?
When we can.
You have...
We are 3 people with a shared goal.
We are concerned citizens.
Well, your concern is well founded. I am sorry to say that the captain was attacked a couple of nights ago.
Does he live?
He does live, but at this time he has been taken to a safe location so he can recuperate.
I am a cleric. I may be able to help.
Make a persuasion check.
What was he attacked by?
And
Not bad. So he kind of looks at you and he goes, we already have the employ of a holy person who is practicing the arts of healings, but we may still be welcoming your assistance. We're not sure what attacked the captain. Kygor was the one who defended him and chased it off. It's as though the water itself transformed and struck at him. The captain was unfortunately taken unaware, but it takes more than that to take him down. The creature unfortunately fled, and we have no idea what it is or where it came from. But with this note, providing it is not some clever forgery, you have given me more grounds for my suspicions. What do you know of this Master Vickel?
I just heard his name a couple times since we got to the city. I think he's an acquaintance of the person we're actually looking for.
Interesting. And do you know who the acquaintance that you're looking for is? Might I have a name?
Name comes with a warning.
I assure you, we have sailed dangerous seas. We can handle any being or creature you warn us of, and we would be thankful for the forewarning as well.
I know him as the Weaver, and I do not know what a dangerous sea looks like, but this silver-tongued devil, demon, something, he poses as friend, but it's not good.
I see. So this individual known as the Weaver is the person who is, you're assuming, asking Meister Vickel to take on tasks?
If they're not the same person, then yes.
Well, suppose I won't get anywhere unless I trust someone, though I must admit I am reluctant to do so.
I was gonna ask him how, what would I call that? How familiar are you with the mountain towns?
I'm
the
afraid
north.
I am not very familiar with them at all.
Okay, never mind.
My name, however, is Quartermaster Lesim, and I am pleased to make your acquaintance. You are?
I am Garrett.
Garrett.
Solid.
Asale?
Okay.
And you? Valkyrie. Motley crew you have here. I would ask, perhaps maybe we can help each other out.
What do you need?
Well, the creature which attacked our captain took a object from us, a sextant. If you're familiar with it.
For navigating the waters, correct?
Yes, correct. It's a device. It looks like it has a telescope on it with a small machinery underneath, which you use to navigate. The creatures stole this, and with the captain waylaid, it is one of his most precious materials. If we were to have it returned, we would be very grateful, and I'm sure the captain would pay you handsomely. Now, we haven't told anybody else about this because, frankly, we don't know that much about it, or who we can trust. If you could perhaps also find a way to, oh, how do the common folk say it? Arrange a meeting with Master Vikel. Rough him up, as it were.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
You know, he hired us to transport some goods and people to Darkon a while back. Our captain, having time and a need for coin, agreed. He approached us the second time and balked at the price and tried to negotiate the captain down. The captain would not move, and so I'm led to believe that he tried to take means to convince the captain. We are not ruffians ourselves, but if someone does harm to us, the crew will bring retribution in kind, if you understand.
Mm-hmm.
All the better if we're not the ones to do it, you see. Get in trouble.
Makes sense.
So
Well,
would you be willing to do this on our behalf?
yes,
Yes.
I am down.
Excellent.
Where was the captain attacked? Was it here at the docks?
Yes, he was attacked on the ship. It's part of the reason why Kygor is so belligerent
Defensive?
about his duties. He was the one tasked with guarding the captain at the time, and he is very honorable. He feels that it is a personal failing on his part. He would be with the captain at this time were it not for my convincing him that it is better he guard the captain's room at this time.
Anything else you can tell us about the attack? Where did the creature just came from the water?
I think we need to talk to our favorite little dragonborn.
Yes, I would only be able to give you a second-hand account. Kygor was there and could tell you more.
I can talk to Kygor.
Any other questions you have for me?
Just your name again, sir. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. My name is Lyson. Quartermaster Lyson.
You mentioned helping us out. How do you suggest you do that?
You see him adjust his spectacles with kind of a twinkle in his eye. Let us say that the crew of Captain Adelhelm and Captain Adelhelm himself have means to acquire things or get you to certain regions should you need transportation. I'm sure that we could find something suitably rewarding for you.
Well, sir, you have my interest.
Yes, we generally have most people's interests, but most people cannot afford our services. So, if you are to help us out, you would be very well compensated.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm assuming you don't happen to know where this Fikel might be.
Oh, yes, well, of course I do. He's a noble. Well, he kind of rolls his eyes at the. He's about to say nobleman. He is a merchant who has bought a lord's title. I assume he is at his one of his many estates or somewhere in town being a pompous ass.
Well, hopefully it'll be easy to find then.
Yes. He recently, as in the past 6 months, as I'm to understand, took control of an estate of another lord whose family unfortunately suffered um, multiple counts of either bad investments or bad fortune.
Hmm.
Yes. I am told you can find the estate on the north part of town. However, I did not want to really march there with my crew until I had proper evidence.
Any way you could
Surround.
point that out on a map for us?
Absolutely, I can. Give me a sec.
If only there was a map of the city. Oh wait, we have one.
We do.
Those tourist stands, they're great. I hope we weren't supposed to pay for this.
Pay for which?
I'm joking that we got a map of the city at like a
Oh, yeah.
tourist kiosk when we walked through the gate.
Oh, they give them to everyone. D&D Beyond has completely crashed for me. Know that it is on the northeastern side of town.
Yeah, I had to refresh this shit again too myself.
Yeah, it decided to kick me out.
You guys got to refresh a lot. I'm just chilling in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Do.
Ba-da-ba-da.
I think I might make my way over to our favorite little dragonborn Kygor.
Favorite Dragonborn? Alright. Go ahead and you're gonna go question him about the attack?
Yes.
Alright. Kygor stands there, ever watchful, waiting, looking out.
I stand up straight in front of him, and with a smile on my face in Draconic, I say, "No admittance."
He smiles back. He says, "No admittance. How do you come to know the language of the gods?"
I am a woman of God, and by right I must learn.
Well spoken.
I do have questions for you, Honorable Kygor, the bodyguard of the most revered captain in the lands.
Ah, you know my captain and his great deeds. Kygor will answer your questions to the best of Kygor's knowledge.
Kygor, we wish to dispatch this horrible being that slighted your captain, but we need information.
Kygor, you can see Kygor kind of grow reserved when you ask about the creature and grow more serious. What information do you need?
What does it look like? Where did it go? We know what it has, and we aim to get it and bring it back to its rightful owner.
Kygor was there when the captain was attacked. It seemed as though water climbed up the side of the ship and under the door of the captain's chamber. At first, Kygor thought it was a puddle from one of the people swabbing the decks which had been spilt. But soon after the streaming and the fighting started, Kygor knew there was a problem. The creature moves like... And you see Kygor searching his mind. like a snake of water.
Like a snake of water. When you went in there, what did it look like whilst it was fighting the most revered captain?
And he kind of like looks at his tail. And he goes, "It was as though Kygor's tail had a body and head at the end of it, all in water, with two eyes which were dark black."
I kind of spit off the edge of the dock into the water. Unheard of.
Yes.
I think I lean over to Valkyrie. What the fuck? As I'm just watching a Dragonborn and Asale, who is a tiny woman, gutturally speak to each other in tones that make no sense to me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
And you see me spit over the edge, and we both start kind of laughing, and you're like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Kygor tried.
If you know Draconic 2, that's just gonna be funny as fuck.
Kygor tried to attack it with his spear. It was like slime.
Slime.
Spear did some, but not enough.
It was of blue color, or it was of white or green.
Kygor shakes his head. He goes and he kind of, like, with his claw, he goes and he looks at the water and he says, "Blue like water." But
Yes.
when it attacked and drew blood mixed, causing deep red in the creature. Disgusting.
Disgusting. Spit over the edge again.
He nods.
One last question, most honorable Kygor. Maybe two. Did you see where it went after?
Yes. After I attacked and protected Captain.
As is your job, soldier.
As
Wonderful
is my
job.
great honor.
As is your great duty.
Kygor was misled.
Misled?
I protect Captain. But
Yes.
in that time, the creature grabbed Captain's golden... And he's like, he doesn't have a dragonborn word for it. He's like, golden object.
Telescope.
And that would be said in common. Yes, that.
Yes.
And went out the window into the water.
Into the water.
From there,
Did you
Kygor could not chase.
Okay. You didn't see the shine of the gold as it swam away into any direction.
Kygor thinks it shined like it went down deeper into water, but after that, very difficult to see. Likely, cowardly creature stole Captain's object for the buffoon who hired Captain. Kygor never liked him.
You think this was a slight by the man who hired the captain?
I know that Captain is very special. His talent deserves praise. In Kygor's land, we have gold. Here you have gold as well. And they pay much for Captain to be paid to do his job. Some think Captain is paid too much. Kygor laughs at them, for they do not know how honorable Captain is. This man complained and complained when he paid captain the first time.
Do you know the name of the man that has slighted your captain?
Glasses calls him Vikel.
Vikel. Disgusting name.
It is, yes, strange human name.
Humans are weird.
You are,
Elf!
yes, pointed ear one. Different from human, but similar.
And as he says that, I kind of make a more of a stern face than we've had so far. Would not be saying things like that, honorable bodyguard.
Kygor, of course, does not dishonor Elf. Kygor is of scale, and so does not mean disrespect to say that if not for glorious elf ears, some would make horrible mistake that you are only shorter human. Kygor knows better.
I kind of nod knowingly. Thank you, Kygor. It is a sore spot. It would be as if someone were to call you a kobold. It leaves bad taste in the mouth.
Kygor enrages at this. Kobolds are not dragonborn. Kobolds are small and greedy. Not
I take like 3
honorable.
steps back.
So you see why I must have clarified that.
I'm already in pain. I don't want to fight that.
Kygor is glad we both understand that we would never be mistaken for lesser races.
I kind of put my hand out to Kygor to shake his hand. We will investigate this terrible man who has slighted the captain, and we will put an end to this.
Good. May you find the creature and his master and bathe in its blood.
Does he kind of grasp my hand and give me a firm shake? Or am I just
Kygor
kind of
is
left hanging?
confused by your gesture and gives you kind of like a high five.
Okay, if that's the case, I probably would have done like a more traditional draconic sign,
Okay.
which might just be roaring to the sky.
Yes. It is basically going to the sky, and Kygor appreciates your gesture.
Okay, and then I'll say thank you, Kygor, and we'll walk away.
Okay.
And I'll be like, go
This is
ahead.
like guarding.
You'll be like, what? You fucking...
I'll be like,
Does
yeah,
your voice hurt?
No, I'm fine. So there's basically a water snake that came on board, stole the sextant, and then swam down in the water. He thinks Vikel summoned the water snake.
Okay,
He's fairly certain.
I'll take your word for it.
What, you couldn't understand him?
No.
It's
God,
just,
no.
it's just guttural roaring. That's all I walks over. Yeah, super cool guy. Talk to him.
He is a super cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone hear Draconic for the first time?
He
Are
called.
you okay? Do you need me to pat you on the back?
He said I looked like a human, so I got stern with him, and I told him that's like if I called him a kobold, and he understood why you shouldn't do that.
What's wrong
And-
with being a human?
No, it's just confusing races for other races.
Sure.
Alright, well,
All
do we
right.
want to go and check, see if we can find this Master Vikewell?
It's pretty late at night at this point, I think. I'm
It is
thinking bed.
late at night at this point, so you're able to go back to your inn to take a rest.
Well, I'm going to the
Timberton
temple.
looks like he's pretty much done for the evening as well.
Yeah, I get bid Tibertane farewell and hope he can sleep better knowing that at least some people are off his back.
Oh, Asali, before you leave, Kygor gestures over to you, and he goes, "Honorable Elf, Kygor has request."
I kind of go back over to Kygor as we all hear guttural screaming behind us. Yes, Kygor, the keeper of safety belonging to the captain.
Kygor takes out.
I'm nailing this, guys. Fuck you.
You are.
Kygor takes out from his side, like he's got like a kind of side bag, like in leather, and you see out of it he brings out, it looks like a tooth or a bone that's been sharpened to a point, and it's got like feathers on it, and it's got like a simple leather wrapping. It's just like a dagger.
It's like a little shiv.
Yes. Kygor looks at you, he says, "You understand some of dragon ways." And he places the dagger in your hand. "When you find the creature who did this to my captain, drive this into its heart for Kygor."
I will do my best to honor both you and the captain, Honorable Kygor.
Kygor thanks you.
I have a question for you, DM.
Yes.
Would I have another flower?
Oh, good question.
I figure I'd have a few of them.
Yes, you would probably have a few of them, I'd say. I'd say that makes sense.
I'd probably give one to Kygor and say, a symbol of the friendship and of the pact we have made this evening.
Kygor thanks you. And he looks at it, and you see him tuck it into his belt.
Yeah, it's the same one that I kind of wear as like an accessory in my hair.
Okay.
And then I'll walk back to the group and be like, well, this goes into his heart.
Pointing side down.
Pointy side down.
Pointy side down, and I'll put it into my pack.